Hey friends, welcome back to Halfway to Healing. I'm Sam.
And I'm Sharna. And in today's episode, we're talking about something super practical and personal, building your own wellness toolbox.
Because when life gets messy, let's be real, it usually does. It helps to have things in your back pocket that actually support your mental, your physical, and your emotional well-being.
We'll be sharing what's in our toolboxes, how those tools have changed over time, and why wellness doesn't have to mean bubble baths and green smoothies. Unless, of course, that's your thing.
Yeah, no judgment.
I once tried a green smoothie. Not for me. I haven't even tried matcha.
I can't look.
I can't wrap my head around it.
I can't say it's gross because that's just my opinion. And if you like matcha, that's your thing. But I think it's so gross. I don't like the taste of it. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah, like I haven't even tried it, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's get started. No hate to anyone that likes matcha.
No, not at all.
I like the vibe of it. I just don't know if it's for me. Let's get started.
I remember once, I don't know where this was. I think it was in one of the groups that is offered by the place that we met.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we say that, I wonder if someone's like sitting there listening and being like, either being like, heh, I know where that is, or, oh my God, where is this place that, like, every time I say it, because obviously for anonymity, yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
We like, you know, because everyone's experiences are different.
Exactly.
But I think it's so funny. That pops into my head every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the activities they had us do was literally make a toolbox, and like it was an actual box of shit. Not shit, but like helpful stuff.
Can you imagine? This is some wombat feces. I don't know why I thought of wombats, just because there's like a little cube, which I find really fascinating. The little cube piece.
So, okay, let's start pretty simple. What actually is a wellness toolbox? Because that probably will help people, because otherwise, what the heck are we even talking about today?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So, basically, wellness toolbox is little collection of all your strategies. Whoa, can I speak? Strategies and skills, and even some like little physical things that you use just to sort of help you. In my case, it's a lot of like grounding things and things that ground me and bring me back down, I guess, that just sort of help, if that makes sense.
I think wellness toolboxes can be literal, like an actual box of shit.
Yeah.
A box of things. I'll stop swearing.
Tools.
Of tools, thank you. But also can be like a metaphorical toolbox where it's just things that you've got in your mind that you can use. Or it can be a mix of both. I've got a mix of both. Like I've got stuff in my back pocket, and then also what is called my sad box.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Did you not help paint it, or was that my partner?
I think I did.
Yeah, I thought you helped at some point.
Yeah, that was either me or.
I think it's important
to have. The name, but yeah.
I think it's important to have a toolbox, like a wellness toolbox, because when you are, well, at least for me, when I am distressed and freaking out and all of this, it's really hard to access the tools that I need, especially in my early days. It was like, I know that I'm going to therapy, I know that I'm doing things, but honestly, what the heck, when I'm distressed and crying and having a big old moment, the last thing I can do is be like, oh yeah, my psych said to do X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
I'm on the floor hyperventilating. What good is anything gonna
How do you put into practice what you've been doing in your sessions when you're like not in that headspace, you know?
So I think that's why it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also important to practice those tools when you're not at a level 10. Every time I go to a therapy group, they're like, don't do this unless you are like a 3 or a 4, so you can practice so that you can build up your... Oh, that was really American.
You've been watching too much Friends.
Oh my gosh.
And Taylor.
Yeah, so I think having the right tools is important, and there's so many tools out there and not everything works. Like, interestingly enough, I find breathing for me, because I've got heart issues, one of the most challenging stuff. And I know it's useful, But unless someone is breathing with me, I can't breathe. I will continue to hyperventilate. Like, I can't do it myself, because then I get all worked up in like, oh my God, am I breathing right? No, I'm not. Oh my, and it makes it worse. So finding the right tools for you is, I feel like I'm repeating myself.
That's fine. Repeat yourself. That's A-okay.
Well, we talked a lot about the toolbox and what that is. What I guess is wellness. Like, what is the wellness part of that, you know?
Asking someone who does not have much knowledge in like social work and psychology.
But what does it mean for you? Like, it doesn't have to be like the actual definition. Just what does wellness mean for you? And me too.
Wellness for me.
Maybe even how it looks for you.
Yeah. It's kind of weird when someone asks you to like describe something but without using that word, you know?
Wellness is wellness.
Right. Just, I don't know, for me, I'd say just sort of, I don't know, like a sense of like calm and maybe like under control, I think might be a good word to like sort of summarize.
Like
Sorry?
Like things aren't impacting you as much?
Yeah. Yeah. And just managing that distress in a way that isn't harmful to myself or others around me, and working on myself and growing, not like physically, but like growing stronger mentally. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wellness for me looks different depending on my mood. Like, wellness when I'm depressed looks different to wellness when I'm manic. But a key part of both of those is resting, because I am a notoriously bad rester. I'm bad at taking breaks. I'm so bad at taking breaks, and especially if I am manic, that becomes even more challenging.
Yeah.
I used to think it was like bubble baths and green smoothies, which is why it's in the thing. I used to think that was, and that's never been attainable for me. So now it's more about listening to what my body needs, and if I need to cut my hair, or if I need if I need to do something compulsive, I have lists of things everywhere of like activities to do and like, you know, safe, like obviously going out and drinking or doing a bunch of drugs, not the most helpful, impulsive, but there are some impulsive things that I can do that aren't, you know, like going in on a small shopping spree, like not spending thousands, but going and getting some candles or getting a piercing or cutting my hair off, or, you know, those things can be okay. And it's really about wellness for me is about listening to my body and my needs without trying to shut myself down. Yeah. And be like, oh, I'm a crazy person.
So it sounds almost... Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I just was going to say, so I'm not just dismissing myself as like, oh, I'm a crazy person, I can't do anything ever. Yeah,
so it sounds like for you it's all about, well, not all about, but it's definitely sounds like there's a big balance component in there for you, finding like that right balance between like, hey, this is actually acceptable. Like, I know I was with you one day and I think you were maybe a little bit manic and you brought something, and then immediately after you felt really guilty, and I was like, hey, it was not thousands of dollars. You're allowed to buy things. And, you know, I was like saying like, hey, I know your partner would support you on this. And so that was finding the right balance. And
it's really hard for me to trust it, because I was in relationships that were like very much like, oh, you are just crazy, you just are manic, don't buy anything ever. I remember my ex and I got into an argument about bed sheets once, because I impulsively bought $150 bed sheets, and it was like, we needed bed sheets, like it wasn't even like we didn't need them. We actually needed them. And so it's really hard.
And like, it was also your money as well. Oh, sorry.
No, you're all good. But it is. And balance is my word for 2025. I nearly said 2024. Oh, gosh.
Nice. Oh, gosh. I'm still saying 2024.
Oh, no, and it's now 2026.
Like, oh, my gosh.
I can't think about that right now.
Don't say that, Sam. Oh,
so this is a practical episode. So let's talk about what's in our well boxes. Our toolboxes. What is your like go-to thing, like your number one, like if you had to pick like your number one that you go to?
I had I want to say for me, a lot of things, I like to do things around like the five senses. So like more sort of like physical things. And so when I'm quite distressed, I will often, I pick up my nails a lot and like the skin around my nails. And it gets really bad that they'll like get infected and bleed. And so I have a little, I think they're called fidget rings or worry rings. And it's basically a ring and it just, you can spin it and it moves. And so that's something that really I find really helpful because fidgeting with my hands is a really big thing. And it's good, especially when I recently had a job interview. It was really good because, you know, I was nervous, but you don't want to be like fidgeting. And so that's a really discreet way for me, especially if I'm in public. So that's something that's really good for me. I also like smelly things, not very overpowering smells because if a scent is too strong, it will give me a headache. But I do often have, you know, like lip balm or hand cream with me as well. That's another sort of small thing that I'll carry with my person to sort of, and also like the motion of like rubbing stuff into my hands and putting it actually on my face is quite soothing to me as well. And sometimes I'll do it and then I won't realize how much lip balm I've actually got on. And I'll just have like this giant mountain of lip balm and I'll be like, oh, that might be a bit too much lip balm.
I remember literally my last hospital admission, they went and got me some moisturizer just to help keep me grounded because they were like the act of just rubbing something into your skin is a little bit of self-care, but also, you know, it's almost like adding pressure points to your, like, you know, to you and rubbing it in. So it's really interesting that you brought that one up.
I reckon this is probably a more recent one. I used to do it a bit before, but I think I'm trying to incorporate it a bit more, but sort of, I want to say like being creative. So I have some like journaling books and coloring books, things like that, because it's taking the focus direct. For me, it's most of mine, you'll find, are more like distraction ones, which I'm still working with my therapist to find, what's the word, like the opposite of like distraction ones, you know, like ones that are actually
ones?
Sorry?
Like grounding ones?
Yeah. So at the moment, mine are more so distracting ones, but we're still working on that. Not perfect. And so with me, the colouring really takes away from that. And I'm just solely focused on this thing that I'm doing. And yeah, and then probably one of the biggest ones as well is also music. Music really helps me a lot. And I think that's the same with you.
Oh, yeah.
As well. Yeah. But definitely
some of the racking up 200,000 hours of Spotify in my Spotify rap.
That's so many. And I thought like 86,000 was impressive. And then here you are with like 200. I was like,
just shy.
Do you sleep?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
I know.
You have access to my calendar. You know that I'm up until the wee hours of the morning.
I know. But yeah, so most of mine are definitely more so about the distraction in the moment. But there is one that I do sometimes try and use when I can. And I think we talked about it maybe last episode, the riding the wave, like theory?
Yeah.
Method? Yeah. And that's probably some of my main ones, yeah. What about you?
I mean, obviously music.
Yeah.
As we touched on. I like with my music to validate my feelings. So if I'm more down, I'll listen to sadder music. If I'm more elevated, then I listen to more upbeat music. But I am working with my psych at the moment to swap it so that I can change the reaction that I'm having to the music. So when I'm the theory is that if I'm manic and I listen to like sad music, it'll calm me. If I'm depressed and I listen to happy music, it'll bring me back, it'll lift my mood up. So I'm not very good at that because I want the validation. I need to feel my feelings. Apparently I'm supposed to feel my feelings. I'm a big fan of the senses, so I usually have like dim lighting in my room. I basically just use lamps most of the time. I don't have the overhead lights on. I have an infuser. I used to have candles, but I'm trying to be a little bit more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
And also you can get more scents if you have essential oils. So you can get like more specific calming ones. Like I've got, I'm going to read my little collection of essential oils.
Go for it. I'm excited to hear them.
So I have...
Can you mix them?
Look, I probably do because I'm really bad at cleaning out the infuser. But I have one called Zen, which is like mandarin, grapefruit, and some flowers.
I love citrus scents.
I love citrus too. A lot of these will be fruity. I can't stand like floral scents unless they're mixed in with something fruity. Yeah. Because it gives me migraines. I have one that is strawberry peach.
Ooh.
I have one that is, hang on, caramel. I always want to call it caramel, and it pisses people off because that's not really how we say it in Australia. I have one that's a lemon leather. That one's really nice. It does make me sneeze though, for some reason. It makes me sneeze.
Oh, does it? Oh.
Yeah. And I have one called Anxiety Ease, which is lavender, orange, marjoram, and chamomile.
Nice.
Those are my essential oils. Oh, and I have a cinnamon, like an apple pie cinnamon one as well.
Ooh, cute.
And I sometimes throw them, because I make candles as well. So I sometimes throw them into the candles that I'm making as well. So that, but I find with the infuser, there's more options for essential oils in terms of like anxiety and scents and things like that than if you go to like a candle shop and you just stuck with whatever candles they've made. I did make recently some lilac and fake gooseberry candles for my partner and my mum.
Oh, sweet.
Using, I can't even remember what I used, but a bunch of different scents to make this thing. And that's always really good. I'm the opposite though. I need the scents to be as strong as humanly possible.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I'm a very big, for scent, I'm a big sensory seeker.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas like for noise, I'm more sensory avoidant.
Right.
I've done like a proper sensory profile where it was like, you know, all of these things. And it does depend on what type, like with sound, like with music, I'm a big sensory seeker. With loud crowds, all of that, I'm a sensory avoider.
Yeah.
With touch, if it's soft, sensory seeker. If it's sticky, sensory avoider. So it can change depending on the type, just like to derail, but it can change depending on the type of the scent. But
that makes sense.
The type of the sensory that you're feeling. But with smell, like pretty much any smell, I'm like, assuming it's a nice smell. Like if it was like I'm not a big fan of the kitty litter because it's kitty litter, but I tend to be a lot more sensory seeking with scents and like finding compared to the other senses.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of sensory strategies to ground me, to calm me, to all of that. I also have a lot of typically distracting tools.
Yeah.
But the way that I do them is in a grounding way. So it's about so I'll sew or I'll draw, and I do it in a way that's not to distract myself, but rather to ground myself. So I really focus on the task that I'm doing and try to be really mindful about it. I'm not always perfect with it, and sometimes it is just the distraction. Something else that is really helpful for me is having a hot tea or a hot coffee. It's interesting because food can be a really good way to manage, like being mindful of food and the act of eating can be really good. Yeah. But obviously if like do that with caution. Like it took a long time for me to be okay with having like some candy or some or things like that went in my toolbox to help me feel better in a way that didn't make it worse and didn't trigger my eating disorder. So because I know that we talk a lot about eating disorders, I do say that with a bit of an asterisk to it. Yeah. My go-to tool though, if I had to pick one, is I have a checklist. Okay. Eat, sleep, journal, movement, sensory. So if I haven't eaten, like I go through this checklist when I'm feeling emotionally dysregulated because sometimes I'm just fucking hungry. Fair point, yeah. Sometimes I just need to go and have some food. Yeah. Or sometimes it's because I've slept and that it's just checking off my basic needs. Yeah. To make sure that it's not something I'm missing. Like, you know, if I haven't watered myself, water's one of them as well. If I haven't watered myself like a plant. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, if I haven't watered myself like a plant, of course I'm going to be feeling a bit dysregulated. Yeah. And if I've done that checklist, then I can go, okay, if I have eaten, I've watered myself. Sorry. Had some sunlight, photosynthesis, fertilizer. If I've done my basic human needs and I've looked after myself as a person, then, and I'm still dysregulated, then I can go, okay, now I can access, you know, if I do something creative or, you know, all of that. And most of the time, once I've checked all those things off, it's a lot easier to be like, feel better, you know, all of that. Something my ADHD coach taught me is sometimes I've just forgotten to be a human being.
Yeah.
I said that
just getting these.
I said that to a client once. I was like, I just need to go be a human being, and I confused the crap out of them.
They're like, are you a robot?
Yeah, like I was like, I just need to go do human things. But those are like my biggest toolkit things.
So just getting, first of all, just making sure that those basic needs are sort of...
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's 5 things. It's pretty easy. I mean, pretty easy to remember them.
Yeah.
I do, that's like, and that's for mental health. I do have like different toolkits for my physical health, like making sure, like Panadol, heat packs.
Yeah.
Tea and coffee again. And yeah, it's just, and there's been so many things that haven't worked, you know, like I can't even remember which ones haven't worked. If someone said them to me, I'd be like, I tried that, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But like, actually the best one for me that hasn't worked is doing like a pros and cons list of my emotions. That one really didn't sit right with me. Or like check the facts is another really big one that I was like, not gonna work. But there's so many, like, I don't know what country it comes from. And we were talking about this before when we messed up the recording earlier, but we were talking about those CCI worksheets.
Yep.
I think I'll put a link to the CCI website. Basically, it's got a bunch of different things from all different types of mental health strategies. They've got depression, bipolar, eating disorders, DBT stuff, CBT stuff, ACT. Like it's basically I think it's an international resource, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it basically goes through all of these strategies that you can do, and it might be if you're unsure of how to start, or you know, you might not have access to a therapist or a counselor. I think it's a really good reason. I know in my early recovery, I used to fucking hate them, but but I think it's a really good starting place because it explains the feelings. Like I know with the eating disorder ones, they explain what's going on for, like what might be going on for you, and then it's literally, it's like it's a worksheet basically, and you can do different things. And because they've got so many different topics, it's like we were talking about the depression one, and it gives suggestions. Like for the depression one, it was like talking about behavioral adaptation, which is basically if you are feeling depressed, doing something that gives your life meaning, is in line with your values, and gives you a sense of mastery. It's values, mastery, and pleasure. And if you do something along those different lines, it might help improve your mood.
Yeah.
And then they list I think it's like 200, 300 different activities that you could do, so that you don't have to sit there and come up with something to do. And you can do your own activities and stuff, and you can go through the list and see what's going to help. But I use that as an example because I read it literally last night. But I it's good for me because I just read it, so it was like it's fresh in my mind. But they're always giving examples so that if it's hard for you to make a decision or come up with something, so I'll link that one into the description box for this episode as well, because I think it's a really good resource.
Absolutely. And like, I don't know about you, but for me, I guess because I have sort of like, I don't want it to sound like snobby, but like a background in like education and stuff and like science, for me, sort of understanding the meaning behind that is quite helpful for me as well. And there was something about this time a year ago, we were talking about, I got a sheet from my psychologist, and it was, I don't know what it was, but it was like a pyramid, and it was dividing it into like human needs or something.
Oh, it's not Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is it?
I don't know if it was that, but it was somewhat sort of way of like thinking, or it might not even have even been like a pyramid or something, but like for me, like understanding almost like the psychology and the reasoning behind it, and almost sort of like why it works. I find that helpful too, because I sort of want to know why and understand why, because when, for example, when I was quite ill with my eating disorder, I would often wonder like, why is this happening? Why am I thinking X, Y, Z? And so then going into almost like the reasoning and the meaning behind it.
I'm very similar. So I very much get that, and I find these like I said, I hated them because they were always always thrown at me in my eating disorder recovery. When I was in clinical recovery, they were constantly thrown at me, and I was like, can you just stop with these reasons?
Yeah. And they're like, here's another handout.
Yeah. I hope we've given good ideas of what we do, because I think it's important to know. There's some overlap between yours and mine, but they do not look the same.
No, not at all.
And I think it's so important to remember for our audience that it's whatever is going to work for you. And
absolutely,
maybe that's video games, maybe that's baking, maybe whatever. I can't think of anything. Maybe it is breathing. I don't. Anything. Maybe it's bubble baths and green smoothies.
Exactly. I was about to say maybe it's like a matcha or something.
Your toolbox does not have to look like anybody else's, and I think that's the most important thing.
Your wellness toolbox does not need to be perfect, aesthetic, or full of expensive gadgets. It just needs to support you, especially on the days when everything feels too hard.
What might work one day might not work the next day, and that's totally okay. Wellness isn't about doing everything right. It's about knowing yourself well enough to reach for the right thing at the right time.
We'd love to hear what's in your toolbox. Come share your favorite tools with us over on Instagram at Halfway to Healing Podcast with little underscores where the spaces should be. I think it might just be Halfway to Healing.
It is halfway
actually.
To healing.
It's Halfway to Healing. Yeah. Or message us if you're building yours from scratch and want some inspiration.
As always, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe wherever you're listening, and share this episode with a friend who could use a few tools on their own.
Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time on Halfway to Healing. Have a good week, everyone.